Girls on the Run is a 10-week program for girls in 3rd through 8th grade that uses discussions, activities, and running games to inspire girls to recognize their inner strength and celebrate what makes them one of a kind. Over the course of the program, girls develop essential skills to help them navigate their worlds and establish a lifetime appreciation for health and fitness. The program culminates with girls positively impacting their communities through a service project and being physically and emotionally prepared to complete a celebratory 5K event. There are over 200 Girls on the Run councils across the United States, working with girls in local communities to create a world where every girl knows and activates her limitless potential and is free to boldly pursue her dreams. One council in particular, Girls on the Run of Greater Alaska, is unique in that they are intentionally implementing the program as a violence prevention strategy. On this Prevent Connect podcast, we spoke with Natalie Watson, the statewide coordinator for Girls on the Run Greater Alaska, Britta Tonneson, the council director, Kirk Burke, a local coordinator implementing Girls on the Run, and Hannah Harvey, the Girls Empowerment Youth Organizer, to learn about how they have made the connection between the Girls on the Run program and violence prevention, the partnerships that have made this successful, and the other culturally relevant programs and initiatives that they're working on. Thank you all again for joining us. I hope you're having a good, what is today, Wednesday? I hope you're having a good Wednesday. I'd love to just start off, and we don't usually have so many guests on one podcast, so I'm really excited. I feel like we're actually at a talk show. But if you would just start off by introducing yourself, letting folks know your name and your role at your agency, Aware.
Yeah, my name's Britta. I am the Community Services Manager at Aware, which has been a title I've held for 4 years, and it's changed quite a bit over those 4 years. But currently I support Girls on the Run in administrative ways, such as keeping up with grant deadlines and evaluation procedures and problem shooting some of the challenges we experience. And then I also am responsible for our community outreach and engagement across Juneau, the capital city of Alaska, as well as the 9 northern, southeast rural villages and communities that Aware is responsible for. And so when I'm doing my outreach, I'm doing both violence intervention training and work and prevention training and work.
Awesome. Thanks, Britta.
And this is Natalie Watson, and I'm the statewide coordinator for Girls on the Run of Greater Alaska at Aware.
Welcome, Natalie.
My name is Kirk Burke, and I am the local coordinator for the Girls on the Run and Boys Run programs here at Aware.
Awesome. Thanks, Kirk.
And I'm Hannah Harvey, and I'm the Girls Empowerment Youth Intern at Aware.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. Well, thank you all so much for being with you. I'm here with my colleague and co-host, I guess, Tori Vandelin. So, Tori, I'm going to actually pass it over to you, and let's just get started on this conversation.
Great. Thanks, Ashley. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're super excited to have this conversation, and yeah, just super grateful to have you here. So, to start off, for those who aren't familiar with Girls on the Run, can you share a bit about the program and the curriculum?
Yeah, with Girls on the Run, we use discussions, games, and running to instill crucial life skills. And the girls in our program is from 3rd grade through 8th grade. The curriculum is delivered by our trained coaches. They teach the girls to understand and respect themselves, value relationships, and positively impact their communities. So at the conclusion of each season, we have a 5K that we run, and we give out medals to all the girls involved for completing the 5K. It gives them a real sense of achievement and framework for setting and achieving life goals. The running is used to inspire, motivate, and encourage health, build confidence through training for the achieve motivated. Build confidence. I'm reading some of it, so forgive me.
No problem.
So basically, Girls on the Run, our mission is to inspire the girls to be joyful, helpful, healthy, and confident. So
one thing that we also have done is for folks who are listening to this podcast in the blog post that accompanies it, there's a link to check out more information about Girls on the Run. And so folks are able to do that. But I think you did a great job giving a nice overview of that. And as I've told you all in the past, I have a little bit of experience in working with Girls on the Run where I live here in Sacramento, California. And when we were talking originally, I shared that I wasn't aware of any other Girls on the Run councils across the country describing the work that they're doing as primary prevention of sexual violence and domestic violence, which is really what you all are doing in Alaska. So I'm just curious, and I'm sure our audience would be curious to know, how did you all come to making the connection between what Girls on the Run does and violence prevention?
Absolutely. So it was about 11 years ago that our prevention director here at AWARE, Atina Sia, she helped bring the program to Juneau together with this group of very strong women. And they recognized that this program would be ideal to strengthen our girls with self-confidence and life skills and help them reject gender stereotypes. And in Alaska, we have some of the highest rates of domestic and sexual violence, so we really need to use all the tools that are available to us. So this program really quickly garnered some strong community support. We expanded throughout the Southeast, and for a while we were Girls on the Run of Southeast Alaska. Another council started up in the Anchorage area, but the rest of the state was not being served. So Ati convinced the Alaska Department of Health and Safety's Council on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault to partner with AWARE so that we could expand the program to all the diverse and remote communities across our state. And thus we became Girls on the Run of Greater Alaska. So we're structured differently in Alaska, and it's partly due to our origins, but also to our enormous territory. We have about 660,000 square miles of mostly wilderness to cover. So thus far, our strategy is to partner with other Alaskan DBSA agencies so that they can run the program locally, while we at AWARE can help with training and logistics. And I think it's really important that we all are DBSA agencies and share those same goals. And so we're all focusing on building those protective factors in our girls that'll shield them over their lifetimes from violence and all sorts of other adverse experiences.
Thank you, Natalie. That's really great. And yeah, when I think about how massive Alaska is, it definitely sounds like, you had to really think strategically about how you could best reach folks living across the state. And so it sounds like AWARE kind of acts as a training and technical assistance provider to the local programs that are implementing Girls on the Run.
That's right.
Would that be okay? Got it. So you mentioned protective factors. Could you talk a little bit more about what protective factors specifically Girls on the Run is promoting?
Absolutely. So we know it's doing these specific things, that we're connecting girls with safe and caring adults, and those are the volunteer coaches that actually deliver the program. We're also building communication skills, so the curriculum has a lot of lessons about identifying values and emotions and being able to communicate those and communicate needs. And then we also have a big focus on social skills, so like how to choose your friends, how to keep your friends. That's a big part of the curriculum. And then those friends are actually going to help support those healthy life skills. So like building that peer community for girls is super important. And then, of course, just like building self-confidence. And this is both in our girls, but also our coaches. So we just need a lot more of that in Alaska. And then in general, we just know that this program builds some healthy life skills, just like fitness and being active. All these things are so good to combat depression and anxiety.
Yeah. I love hearing you talk and kind of tease out what those protective factors are. Because I know that, so as a preventionist and as someone who then has also been involved with Girls on the Run, that's exactly what I saw when I learned more about the curriculum. I was like, wow, this is, you all are doing violence prevention work. Have you thought about that? Have you realized that? And I think, again, once you kind of pull out why and make that connection for folks, then it's so obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's really special how with Girls on the Run, it's not just those skills that the girls on the run need immediately, but it's those life skills like you had mentioned. And so I think that ties in really well to our next question. And our next question is for Hannah. So, Hannah, you are now an intern for Girls on the Run, but you also went through the program when you were younger. So I'm wondering if you can tell us and our listeners what it was like to be a girl on the run, and how do you think that experience has impacted your life?
For sure. I never really thought of myself as a very athletic kid. So the way Girls on the Run combines confidence-building activities with fun exercise in a non-competitive environment really clicked with me. And I think that's the same for a lot of our girls in this program. And then 5K, 3.2 miles seems like a lot to a kid. So being able to say, I did that, I ran a 5K was really powerful. And that stuck with me even now. And my coaches had a really big impact on me because they were so encouraging and supportive. And they showed me how important it is to empower young girls. And now I get to do that through this internship.
Love
That's
that.
awesome.
That's so cool that you, and I'm just going to say it. When we were talking at first, I was like, I wish that when I was younger, I had Girls on the Run. Wouldn't that have been great? And then you said, well, I was. So that's so cool that you're able to bring not only your experience as being a participant in the program, but now you're still connected, and you're able to bring that to other young girls that, are in that prime age. We're building these skills, and these relationships is so, so important. So thank you for sharing about your personal experience.
Thank you.
So for Alaska, I know that Girls on the Run isn't your only prevention strategy, and that, I looked at your website and I've talked to some of our other colleagues in Alaska, and so I know that you have 3 other strategies that you're implementing. Can you share a little bit about what those other strategies are?
Yeah, so our pathways to prevention are engaging men and boys, Girls on the Run, youth engagement, and then equity. And those are statewide pathways as well as local pathways for what used to be the Juneau Violence Prevention Coalition and has transformed into what is now the Ha-Tuch Letish Coalition, which means we believe it is possible. We believe prevention is possible.
That's really cool. I need to learn how to say that.
I'll do.
Yeah, right? But prevention is possible. And so I love the we believe prevention is possible. And so one of the pathways, engaging men and boys, we talked about one of the programs within that is Boys Run. And Kirk, I know that that's something that you're involved with. Can you tell us more about that program?
Yeah, so our Boys Run program is actually called Boys Run E2Woo Klatsine, which in Tlingit means strengthen your spirit. So it's not only a strength-based curriculum, it's also a place-based curriculum because we also we have the Southeast Alaska Native culture and traditional values. So that's a strong part of our program. We're in partnership with Tlingit and Haida Central Council, which is our local tribe also. So, we're just trying to, confront those negative male stereotypes. So with the program, also with it being strength-based, our program is steeped in same thing. We through games, through running. We're also trying to build those strengthened boys. But we have a vision here and our mission. And I like to read the mission because it's pretty powerful. So I will read that right quick instead of me just stumbling over my word. So the mission is Boys Run envisions boys and men possessing strength of spirit through a 10-week program composed of running, discussion, and culturally based activities that honor Southeast Alaska traditional values. Participants will gain the skills they need to build healthy relationships and create a community of respect and self and others. So it's really, I like to read that word for word because I don't give it justice. I kind of fumble over my words a little bit, and it is such a powerful mission statement. Mm-hmm. So I think the program has been really successful, and moving forward, we're just trying to build on that and expand the program.
Mm-hmm. We talk a lot in prevention about, we have curriculums or we have programs, but you can't always just take them off the shelf and implement them in a community and have it be relevant, right? And so I think that what you're describing in that mission statement, those culturally based activities sound like they're a really important piece in that. And that Boys Run, it's not just Boys Run, right? There's that other cultural piece that is really significant to, I'm sure, the boys and the coaches as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very significant. Especially I look at myself, for example, we're here, and that's why I say the place-based portion of it is, I think, so important. We're trying to teach our boys to respect the land, respect their elders. So when you talk about the Southeast values and incorporating those values, we want them to respect the local culture. So it's amazing, and we're trying to encourage cultural bearers to come out. We have different stories involved in our program, and with those cultural bearers, we want people from this community, people from the local tribe, to come out and educate our boys, and as well educate us as coaches about these origin stories and about the culture that we're steeped in here in Juneau, Alaska.
The other flip side of that, or tagging along to what Kirk just said so well, is that Aware in our community of Juneau is in this process of decolonization, and we recognize that race and gender issues are inseparable for many, most of the people we serve and who we are. And so we are guided by this light that decolonization is an act of love, and that the values and the solutions have existed here with the people that are from this land and of this land, and this is part of it. Aware's intervention programs are also doing their process with this, and so that's part of why it's so important to be guided by these values and practices.
Thank you all so much. I think I'm really happy that you're highlighting that and sharing, and I love that you said the values and solutions have existed here with the people, because I think sometimes as preventionists, we forget that communities know the solutions, right, to the issues that they're facing. And so thank you for highlighting that.
A theme that I had heard come out was on this community of respect, and bringing the program to the community and having it be from the community. And so we know that with Boys Run and with Girls on the Run, not only are you working with youth, but you're also engaging families. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that engaging family piece looks like?
So we do some things every season. We send letters home to parents explaining what the program is about. The Girls on the Run International provides a grown-up guide for parents to read along so that they can see what the girls are learning. And there's some follow-up questions for them to ask their girls and to engage them about these topics. We also created a little talk time booklet with just kind of a really brief summary of what they're learning. We also send out weekly emails to all the parents. We ask parents to participate at the 5K by being a running buddy for their girl or trying to help find somebody. And of course, we survey parents at the end. And then the 5K is a huge community event with families, friends, and all sorts of community members cheering on the girls and boys. And then we recently started what we call our Family Fun Night, which was super fun. We invited both Girls on the Run and Boys Run families to participate in that. And I'd love to let Kirk talk a little more about that.
Yeah, so our Family Fun Night was really an amazing event. It was for our Girls on the Run and Boys Run program. Everybody came out, families came out and celebrated together. We had tons of games. It was just really good to see the families there, parents coming out support, big brothers and big sisters and little brothers and little sisters. And the food was amazing. We had, one of the things that we did that I thought was really neat was because we are here in Alaska and subsistence and hunting is such a big part of our community. Again, going back to that place base, we had a venison stew, which was really neat. And we also had, was it seaweed?
Yeah, we had seaweed,
from one of our local,
fry bread.
Yeah, fry bread. So it was really amazing to be able to incorporate that. And then we had the boys and girls did a lesson. The name of the lesson was called Words Matter, and they actually got to take their parents through the lesson. And I don't think the parents were quite ready to get quite that sweaty because the boys and girls had them running around all over the place. But it's a really powerful lesson. I think especially today is one of my favorite lessons because today, especially with social media, words especially matter even more now, once they're out there and you can't take them back. And I think it's such an important lesson. And it was really neat to see the parents interacting with the boys and girls. So it was a really, really fun event.
Thank you so much for sharing with us about how you all are engaging families and about Family Fun Night. And that sounds like a great success. So I'm wondering if you can share some other successes you all have experienced with these programs.
Yeah, I'd like to start. I have a daughter who's been in the program now 4 seasons, so she's super into it. And I saw her use the tools that we were teaching in Girls on the Run. So she and I had a bit of a disagreement, and she hit me, and I was very unhappy. And so I sent her to her room, and she cried a little bit. But then when she came back out, she had this letter she had written to me using this tool. I feel sad when I can't remember what she was angry about, but she expressed her feelings clearly. She expressed her needs. And then she also said how sorry she was and that she wouldn't do it again. So I felt like all these tools were really a gift from Girls on the Run, and she wouldn't have had them otherwise. And then, Kirk, you want to talk about something?
Yeah. Well, my niece was in the program this year. And it's funny because she's been quite spoiled this past year. Her father's taken her around to do a lot of really cool things. For example, she went down to see Taylor Swift in Seattle. And I only mention that because we were all together at Christmas time, and her grandmother asked her, was like, well, tell me out of all the things you did this year, tell me one event, one thing that was the biggest event for you and you had the most fun at. And she was like, Girls on the Run 5K. And I was really impressed to hear that. So we outdid Taylor Swift. So she was so excited. I think one of the big things was not only that she completed the 5K, She got to do it with new friends that she made. She got a medal at the end of it. And her father was there and participated with her for a while until he got a little awkward and she wanted to be with her friends. You know how parents can be, you know. But you know, that to me, that was really saying a lot, that for her, that she felt like that was the biggest event of her year. So that made me, just being involved with the program, that kind of put me in a really I felt really special at that time to hear her say that, because she also associates her uncle with Girls on the Run. So that was a win-win for me.
I love both of those examples. And it's so, I mean, obviously it's the greatest thing to hear that that's like the highlight of your year, right? Mm-hmm. But then I think also, you know, being able to see that yes, these girls are gaining tools and life skills that they can pull out outside of a Girls on the Run lesson, right? Mm-hmm. And into their daily home life. That's so just encouraging and exciting, that not only are they getting these skills, but in your niece's case, Kirk, that was a highlight. Yeah. So that's so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome, isn't it?
It is. I love that.
I tell everyone that story, by the way. That's a big deal.
It's a good one. Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks for listening to part 1 of our podcast with Aware. Don't miss part 2 to hear more about the work they are engaged in to prevent sexual and domestic violence, including making internal organizational changes to promote equity and inclusion.